Welcome to the Midweek Mailbag, our midweek podcast where we answer your questions live here on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit and on YouTube. And if you are watching on Twitch or YouTube right now, you're probably very curious as to why I look like I look. But guess what? It's because it's Movember. It is our first stream of Movember where you guys get to do very silly and stupid things to my face and my background and all sorts of things. Head to pridedetroit.com for all the info on that. But let's get to the show here. My name is Jeremy Reisman. I'm the producer over at Pride of Detroit. You can find me at Detroit Online on Twitter. I don't think I said that yet, and if I did, I'm sorry for repeating myself. With me, as always, to answer all of your questions is the managing editor of Pride of Detroit, is the machine, is Erik Schlitt on Twitter. Erik Schlitt is here. Buddy, happy Movember.
I'm glad to see that you are jumping in head first. It's nice to see, buddy.
It's fun. It's fun until it gets old. We'll see. I'm having fun right now. It's a very silly and fun season, and we do a lot of good work. So, yeah, head to pridedetroit.com for all of that info. But let's jump into it, Erik. Lions are 6-2. People still got questions on their mind, though. A lot of interesting developments. You know, we had the trade deadline. People are talking playoff seeding. People are talking about off-season moves. We're going to focus mostly on the present here a little bit. We'll dive a little bit into the future, but let's start here with a little bit jump into the future, but not too far in the future. I said playoff seeding. Ashley David Soden on Twitter asks, what are your dream playoff matchups in the wild card round? And says, quote, or parentheses, you're not allowed to say none because we get the first seed and a bye. And what is the worst possible matchup in your expert opinion?
Okay. So I think if we, we try and expand what we know now, and then apply it to the playoffs, right? So we say Eagles, for the sake of this exercise, Eagles are number one.
Yeah.
Right. So, that puts, let's say Detroit at number two, and then you're going to have either Seattle or Niners, and then you're going to have
whoever wins the NFC South.
Who's going to
Atlanta, Tampa, New Orleans. It could really be anybody.
It doesn't matter for the first round. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter for the first round anyways. Right. So that means the loser of the Seahawks, 49ers is going to face either the 3 or the 4 seed.
Yep,
and then the Cowboys are going to face one of those two teams. So if the Lions can get the 2 seed, you're getting a team that is probably not, in the contention right now.
Right.
So that means they're going to be, maybe they get hot and you got to face a hot team down the stretch. At the same time, there's always teams that sneak in and then you're like, oh, they shouldn't be in the playoffs. And then they get walloped.
Right.
And so that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for, since the 1 seed's off the table, I'm hoping for a 2 seed, and it's not one of the top 6 teams in the NFC right now, and you just get a chance to wallop them at home at Ford Field.
Yeah, and I think I was saying this, I don't remember if it was on the podcast or during a break, I think that 2 seed is critical to get. If the 1 seed is not available, I think the 2 seed is so important just for everything you just laid out, because it means you're going to either get the Vikings or the Rams or NFC South team that doesn't win the division, or I guess an outside chance at the Commanders. All those teams that probably don't belong in the playoffs. And when a lot of people say when they added that 3rd wild card spot, you're just adding a team that doesn't deserve. That's what it looks like it's going to be this year. It's a team that doesn't deserve to get to the playoffs. So, if you want to pick amongst that group who you want the most, I think I'd take another shot at Tampa. I mean, you're proven to have beaten them. I mean, really, NFC. I would love to see a second NFC South team make it in the playoffs, because I think the Lions can beat any of them.
I don't know if I know the Vikings are 4 and shift your head a little bit, 4-4.
There you go.
So, thank you for allowing me to see schedule there, or the rankings, seedings, whatever you want to call it. So the Vikings, though, I think, everybody's like, oh, they got Josh Dobbs, so now they're going to have a chance at the playoffs. I don't know. I'm not sold that Josh Dobbs is going to be this difference maker that's all of a sudden going to propel them ahead of maybe a Tampa. And if it does, great. At the same time, of the 7 games they have remaining, 2 of them are against Detroit, so those are losses. And so like that means they're going to have to really beat some really good other team, or really, other teams down the stretch in order to get in. So I don't
including
know.
the Ravens this week.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like they would have to go on they'd have to beat almost everybody else in order to get in. So I'm not so the Vikings get in. They'd have to beat teams they shouldn't beat. And then, so maybe it is Tampa, but the Lions, took care of them already. They know the game plan, and hopefully they'll be healthier when they take Tampa Bay on again. So Baker Mayfield doesn't scare me. And I think when you start looking at like playoffs, one of the big things is quarterback play in the playoffs. Like it's essential. It's so hard for teams to take a mediocre to below average quarterback and then overcome their weaknesses. And I think that's what you have in a lot of these NFC teams is outside of those top 6. I don't know what quarterback is like scary.
There isn't one. Let's flip to the other side of the coin there though. Like what is a team you don't want to face? I feel like right now, I mean, it's kind of the obvious answers, right? Like you win your division, you have to play. Yeah. Let's say you get the 3 or the 4 seed. That means you're facing either the Seahawks or the 49ers. I think that's a nightmare scenario. Yeah, I think those two are probably the two. Like I'd rather play the Cowboys than I'd rather play the Seahawks or the 49ers again. I'd rather play. I mean, yeah, I think that's it. Like out of the teams that aren't going to win the division, I don't want to play the 49ers. I don't want to play the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the 49ers would be the worst case scenario because I think they're the most complete team. They just have hit a patch of struggles. They've shown they're beatable, but at the same time, they're also very complete. Seahawks are bad medicine for the Lions, have been, but it'd also be nice to get some revenge. Sure. And then at the same time, Dallas has always been, bad medicine for the Lions as well, but they take advantage of the Cowboys as well. So it's like there's bad juju on both sides there. Right. So, I think the Niners and then the Seahawks, those would be the 2 teams I wouldn't want to face.
All right. Next question here from John Livingston at the Johnny Pig asks, is it time to start worrying about Vitae? Has Glasgow done enough to win the starting spot when he's back healthy?
Oh yeah. I don't think you can bench Glasgow at any point. At the best we've ever seen Vitae play is not as good as Graham is playing right now. I don't think you can. I think you can move Graham if like there's injuries, but I don't think if you're talking about a 1-for-1 who's going to play, and there's just one spot available. I think it's Graham's. So, unfortunately, Vitae, he may be nearing the end of his career if this back injury isn't something that can shore itself up, and that's really unfortunate. But even when he's not on the injury report, he's still not ready to go. Yeah. Because it's still, it's still a problem. But regardless, like I said, even if he was 100%, the way Graham is playing right now is the best I've ever seen Graham play. Yeah, no. And it's amazing that he's doing what he's doing, considering he started at 3 different spots already through 8 weeks. That is not easy to do. That is incredibly labor intensive. It's a mentality thing that's not easy. And granted, he's been around long enough where, maybe it is a little bit just like, getting back on a bike at every single position, but it's still something that not a lot of people in this league can do. And I'm with you. Like, I think he's earned a starting job at this point, and Vitae, I don't know how you can trust him right now. Back injuries. When the question is, when should you start worrying about Vitae? It was as soon as you saw a back injury on the injury report last week, because it looked like he was trending towards coming back from his knee injury, and there was no reason to expect that would hiccup or turn into anything else. But then he plays one game, and the back injury pops up, and you're just like, that's what you had surgery on last year. Back injuries are not something you mess around with, and so I think they're going to continue to have him on the roster as an emergency option, but I don't think they want to mess with that long term. I think Graham is your right guard, and when Jonah is healthy, hopefully that's very soon, he's your left guard, and that's it. Yeah, I'm. We kind of saw an emergency situation last week.
Yeah.
I mean, like not only did they have Ausika and Soar still starting, but then Ausika goes down, and you had to go to skipper.
Right. They
And
didn't go
so,
to Vitae.
like,
Yeah.
right, I like so. And maybe again, that's health related, or maybe that's just the way things are.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous mentor, especially for Sewell,
Right.
and so he's important to keep around. But at this point, I know Sewell's only 23, but he is a captain. He
Right.
is a leader.
Right.
Like he doesn't need an older vet holding his hand or helping him or encouraging him anymore. Like Sewell is. This is becoming Sewell's team.
Right.
Like we're watching this happen in front of us right now. He is becoming the guy. And so it's
I think you hope that Vitae for the remaining 9, 10, whatever weeks, he becomes Sorsdal's kind of mentor, right?
sure. I think Graham is that really.
True.
Because Sorsdal has to be able to switch positions,
Yeah.
and he has to have that mentality. And I think Graham can relate to that in a way. And granted, Graham plays all three: interior, where Sorsdal plays left, right, and then tackle.
Right.
Whereas where that, and Vitae has experience doing that as well.
True.
So, Colby's he's gonna soak up information wherever he can. But
Yeah.
I really think him and Graham fit well together. And like I said, that ability to be position flexible helps a lot. But no, I agree. I do agree. Vitae is he's a good person to have on the team in this situation. But gosh, it's hard to imagine long term. Like this is a guy who's was considering retiring over the off season.
Yeah.
He's got kids. He doesn't want any. You don't want him to have any long term injury impacts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You want him to be healthy. He's made enough money where he can live a very comfortable, happy life. And so you hope the best for him. But man, I don't know how long he can go with him before he feels like he's risking himself too.
Right. All right. Next question here from our good friend Krolik on Twitter asks, who do you think should get the majority of the carries over the course of the second half of the season, assuming both are healthy? Montgomery or Gibbs? I feel like this is a question that has been bubbling. You threw it up on PrideOfDetroit.com as well. It's a really interesting question because I think we always assumed that Gibbs would, increasingly eat into Montgomery's take, which was like a pretty big take early in the season. But now that he has a couple of good starts under his belt, including a really, really good game on Monday night, some people are thinking like a complete role reversal, which is not what I'm expecting. I'll answer it first. Like I still think Montgomery is going to have the majority of the carries, but I think it's going to be very, very close to a 50-50 split. Maybe not right away. Maybe it's more like 65-35. Maybe it's closer to 60-40, but we know this team really, really likes David Montgomery. We know this team really, really likes to grind out tough yards and be this physically imposing team. And so that's who David Montgomery is. Now, here's what I'll say about the last 2 weeks. Dan Campbell has said a lot of flattering things about Jahmyr Gibbs. He said a lot of things about he's getting better every week. He's seeing the field better. And then this is key to me. He's gaining their trust. He's gaining their trust in route running. He's gaining their trust in vision. He's gaining their trust in pass protection. And we know how important trust is to this regime. And so once you get trust, that's when you see the field more. And so not only, I still think in terms of carries, David Montgomery is going to lead the way. But in terms of touches, it might be even or might even slant Gibbs' way because I think we're headed towards a lot more two running back sets now that they trust Gibbs.
It's a real interesting question because I don't think there's like a clean answer.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason why I presented this question in the React survey was I wanted to create a little bit of debate, and I tried to preface what I was asking by saying starter reps don't mean he's the starter. Starter reps means he's getting the majority of the snaps, the majority of the opportunities. So basically saying, look, from logistic standpoint, I only have so many characters to write the question.
Right.
So I can't be like, who would be the guy who gets the most snaps?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta condense it. So I tried to explain it in the article. The comment section was very interesting. Lots of people, I don't think, read the explanation part, just voted and then yelled at me.
Are you saying people only read the title of an article? That doesn't sound like the internet.
And so I don't think they fully grasp it. But the main question, I think it's an interesting question moving forward, is who is going to get it? And I think in an ideal world, they're both going to get they're going to platoon them both.
Yeah.
There's going to be situational work where some defenses are going to be more susceptible to Montgomery. Some defenses are going to be more susceptible to Gibbs. And it's really a wealth of riches type situation, right? And so I think that's the answer. Like the answer is, I don't think there is one, right?
Wow. That is the cop-out of cop-outs.
Okay, no, but let me say.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. So I think, but that's why I wanted to pose the question, was because I wanted to create a debate and just like to see like what people were thinking, because there's a school of thought that says Gibbs has done so well that you could see them just turn to him and say, look, we draft him in the first round. He's going to be, we think he's the guy. Let's move forward with him. At the same time, their entire offensive strategy centered around Montgomery being this bell cow, smash you in the mouth type of wear you down type of back. And so I do think they're going to try and even split it. But to answer the question and not cop out,
6 minutes into your response.
Well,
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
My answer is, I think it's going to be Montgomery.
Yeah.
Because I think their overall strategy is going to be that they're going to want to still smash you home.
Yeah.
Right. And while Gibbs offers more dynamic play and he offers a variety of ways to get involved, and you're going to see him get involved early, I still think it's going to be Montgomery that hits him early and Montgomery that hits him late. And Gibbs is going to be the guy that gashes them in the middle and keeps them on edge and keeps defenses guessing. But I really think Montgomery is the guy that they're going to consider like their RB1.
Yeah.
Now, the fan results just came in.
And you gonna spoil them? No.
I mean, I
want their clicks.
Oh, it's not what I expected. Put it that way.
I bet
it's interesting.
I bet I know what it is.
I thought it was going to be a close battle. It is not a close battle. It was
Eric, I can tell you, everyone wants the new hot thing in town. That's how it works. I can guarantee you it's heavily slanted toward Jahmyr Gibbs. And I understand it's the new toy. It's the toy that just got you 150 some yards on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Sure.
And I can't blame him.
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was an 80-20 vote.
Okay, well that's maybe a little bit more split heavily in his favor than I expected, but
yeah, because considering we get like 1,000 to 2,000 votes on these articles, and based on the comments, I'm guessing we were more towards the 2,000 mark this time. Yeah, and so
yeah, well,
yeah,
we'll see. It's worth noting it's worth noting that the Lions cut Divino Zigba today, which certainly seems telling, as in like, okay, well, if David Montgomery is healthy, that means now you only have 2 running backs on your roster. So that tells me that David Montgomery is healthy or is expected to be healthy once
they may as well have just put that on a billboard.
Yeah,
welcome back, David Montgomery.
Yeah, kind of weird for them to do it in the bye week. Maybe there's some sort of benefit to it, but either way, I think you're right. But I want to move to our next question because it's kind of related.
No, I want to pause for 1 second.
My gosh.
Just okay, fine. I'll come back to it. Fine. I want to talk about the other side of that move.
Okay.
About then the Trevor Nowoski move. So you want to do the related question?
Yeah. All right, okay. Sure. Katie from Michigan on Twitter asks, going forward, how do you see Ben and Dan addressing the red zone issues, or do you feel those are a direct byproduct or result of David Montgomery being out?
Yes.
Yes, you think just David Montgomery being back is going to fix everything?
Yes. when they had look, 6 times they got in the red zone.
Yeah.
Or probably more than that, but like 6 times they got in the red zone, handed off to Montgomery. Montgomery runs it in the end zone.
Yeah.
Montgomery gets hurt. They get in the red zone. They can't punch it in the end zone. It's not rocket science here. Okay. David Montgomery is their bell cow when they get inside the 10. And
on Monday night in particular, it looked like that whole thing. Like, what do I do with my hands when I'm in the red zone? Let's make Amon-Ra throw a pass on 2nd and 1.
But I think the cutesy is because
right they
didn't have Montgomery.
They didn't have an identity in the red zone. They don't have one.
And they tried it. And they said, let's get our other power guy and give it to Craig. And what happened? He was down on the ground for like 45 seconds, and then the ball gets stripped out. And they're like, oh, I'm Clete Blakeman, and I don't know what I'm doing, so let's just call it a fumble. Like honestly, like Montgomery solves all of these issues, and Clete Blakeman is the worst ref in the NFL.
All right, before we go get out here, people have been begging for Trevor Nowaski talk, apparently. So, Eric, what's
nice.
your... Okay, it is kind of a little bit strange, right? The Lions have 6 linebackers already on the roster.
Oh, yeah.
Let me finish my sentence.
No. We're cutting each other off. We're assuming we know what each other's talking about now.
6 linebackers before bringing up Nowaski. 4 of them regularly contribute on special teams. So, what is the deal? Is there an injury we don't know about? Do they like Nowaski so much on special teams? Is someone going to get demoted and inactive on game days? What's your theory here?
I think he can do a lot. Right?
Yeah.
I think he can be. I think he remember when he was in college, he was the edge guy. He was a slot guy.
Yeah. He
could cover off. He could play inside the tackles. He could play slightly outside the tackles. There was a whole bunch of stuff that Nowaski could do at the college level. You saw sprinkles of it near the end of training camp where he started to get more looks at Sam.
Yep.
And so maybe he's like another. I do think special teams is the primary thing.
Yeah.
But like you could see some sprinkles at Sam, you could see some sprinkles at fullback and be like, hey, let's just put a couple of fullbacks back there.
Okay.
A couple of linebackers.
No, stop it.
No, let's run some wing. Let's run some wing T
no.
and just be like, whoa. And but look, I think Nowaski's versatility, like Anthony Pittman, to be able to play a lot of different spots, and apparently like Malcolm to play a couple of different spots now, is just it's important for what they want to do on defense, and it's especially important for what they want to do on special teams. Look, they needed an answer when Jason Cabinda went down, and they turned to Daniels, but then they needed another back to replace Montgomery, so they elevated a Zigbo and cut Daniels. But now that Zigbo is no longer needed because of Montgomery, they need another person, another body that's a fullback linebacker size, and that's Nowaski. So give him a shot, bring him in, let this dude wreck some people, and it's a lot of fun. Another local kid, right?
Yeah.
Like it's local kid city here now, and that's awesome. I love to see it.
It's interesting. I love the idea that he could be the Sam linebacker because the Lions clearly are trying to figure that out right now. Jack Campbell, I don't know if that experiment is over, but it was over on Monday night. Maybe that was a matchup thing. Maybe that was let's just stop messing around with it and have Jack Campbell be the Mike and scale back Derek Barnes' role. But
very interesting because there was a couple like that too.
Right. And you know, Julian's been in and out, and you know, Romeo's been in and out. Charles Harris has been in and out. It's they're trying to figure something out, and I never really put it together that Nowaski could potentially be one of those guys. But listen, this is and probably a bad comparison, but like James Houston was activated around this time last year as a guy that was on the practice squad, and at some point they were just like, we can't keep you on the practice squad anymore. I don't know if that's the case with Nowaski, but I'm very eager to ask Dan Campbell if he's a guy that just they couldn't have on the practice squad anymore. I think that's going to be one of the first questions he gets asked when we all come back from the bye here. But speaking of coming back, we will come right back from this commercial break because it is a long first segment here in our special Movember midweek mailbag. But when we come back, a ton more of your questions. And if you join us live, not only can you write stupid, dumb stuff on our face, but we answer a whole bunch of more questions in the break. So make sure you're following us on Twitch and YouTube. But for our podcast audience, we will be right back. Okay. We have a lot to take care of here in the break because unfortunately, and I went back and forth with Streamlabs all afternoon trying to make it so the donation alerts worked. They do not currently. But as you can see up there, the counters are moving. There was a little event thing. Ooh. I have them all listed here. We're going to get to all of those and in all the donations that happened off stream before we got here because we had $700 donated already to the Alzheimer's Association before we went live, and now we're almost already doubled it. We're at 1,300, which also means we have a spin on the wheel of pain that we'll do in this break. There is a Macho Man Randy Savage channel point redemption, which I'll do.
Do you have to do that? I thought that was you redeem it and then you do I didn't realize this was a midstream costume change thing.
It can be.
Are you capable of that? How long does it take you to get into that getup?
Not that long. Slothy, we read the chat. Relax. All right. Let me. Oh God, what do I even do first? There's a million things I got to do here. But geez, Joshua Mercer, by the way, 200. I just looked at the donations. The first one I see is a $250 donation from Joshua Mercer. I'm sure there's a ton of other stuff I need to look into because all of those probably make me do stuff as well. Okay. Yes, let's do Macho Man first. I will get the Macho Man stuff going. Erik, you're in charge of chat. Make sure they don't get unwieldy, which is going to be impossible because they will be.
I don't know what that means.
I just set it to sound smart. Oh, there goes a hat.
All right, see you in 20 minutes. All right, my goodness. I don't even know exactly. Hello, everyone. I don't even know exactly what to. I wasn't watching the chat because I saw Jeremy, cutting me off and telling me he knew what I was talking about and yelling at me for not making a decision. It threw me off, so I apologize. Life is busy. Even though it's a bye, I don't feel like we got rested. Hopefully you guys are feeling rested after the bye, during this bye. I feel like I'm barely keeping up. Oh, is Laura talking in there? Okay, that'll be fun. Okay, thank you for questions. Is Gardner Johnson back for the end of the regular season? I don't think he will be, but who knows, right? At this point, he was suggesting he could come back during the latter part of the playoffs. Now he's suggesting he might be able to come back earlier. If he does, I don't think it wouldn't be anytime soon. That's for sure. So I'm gonna err on the side of caution and say I don't think he comes back during the regular season. Well, hopefully if you have Red Zone, you guys can watch that. I know there's probably a lot of people that have leaves on the ground. That's going to be fun. Michigan has been very schizophrenic with its weather, but I guess that's normal for the fall. And so the snow is gone, but the leaves are still there. So that's going to have to get done. The garage is not cold because I have my heater. I have a little space heater that I keep for the garage. So that keeps me good. Halloween is exhausting, especially when you have 3 of them and a Monday Night Football game. I think Houston has a shot at coming back maybe a little bit faster from what the fact that Dan's already kind of talking about Houston, I think is an indicator he can come back. He's got a chance to come back again. If it happens, it's going to be really late in the season.
Oh yeah, brother, I'm back.
It might not even be anything hugely impactful. But look, Dan Campbell's already talking about James Houston, so I think that definitely puts his return on the radar. That was a lot much faster than I thought. Mosley's done. He's not going to play. ACL is going to knock him out for the whole season. You look like
James Houston's going to come back because the cream rises to the top.
Oh God, I'm not going to be able to do this podcast with you.
What do you mean?
What? Oh, gosh, I'm blanking on the guy's name. Matt Nelson also had ankle surgery, so it might take a while for Matt Nelson to come back as well. I didn't think Broderick Martin was great, but that also wasn't unexpected. He first game, he's still got issues with pad level, but that'll happen.
There was one play, because I was watching the one drive where the Lions got just absolutely run over. There was one play where he mauled a dude and just knocked him straight on his ass.
I mean, he's got power like crazy.
The problem is the play still ran right behind him. No,
but look, they started him over Bugs, which is a indicator that they're like. Look, they started Sorsdal over. I'm sorry, they started Martin over Bugs.
Yeah,
Jack Campbell got way more snaps than Derek Barnes.
Right.
You saw Branch not only playing the entire game, but he was not when they went to two safety sets in a base. I forgot about that. When they went to two safety sets, and just their standard base for defensive backs, it was Tracy who came off the field, not Brian Branch.
Right.
Then you had Laporta, who had played almost every offensive snap. You had Gibbs, who was starting and playing an insane amount of snaps, and that it's like every single rookie was like, hey, it's week 8. Let's just turn all of the rookies loose. And then Sorsdal plays the whole thing. And I thought Sorsdal played really well. So
the question
this was a coming out party for the whole draft class.
But was it like, okay, we're at the midway point of the season, you guys got to get your ass going now? Was it, hey, we're playing the Raiders, like we're going to win this game, so let's play some rookies and get them some game time experience?
I don't think so. I think it was specific. They're not. This was a national audience that in a game that they didn't want to take people too lightly. They're not just going to play them to play them.
That's right.
Right. And
that's
so
a good point.
I think this was because I was half expecting it to come out of the bye.
Right.
Like, okay. For those of you who don't know, like a little behind the scenes things, we pre-write inactives, and I take guesses on who I think is going to be inactive, and I write like a paragraph on them or something like that. And if they're not inactive, I just delete it. Well, I guessed Broderick Martin was going to be inactive, and my paragraph on him basically said, hopefully after the bye, he will have progressed enough that he'll get a shot to play.
Right.
And so that's what I was expecting. So when he was active, I was just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
It was like a week early from what I was expecting. So I'm excited to see where this goes because you've got almost your entire class, save Hendon Hooker, ready to go. That's we're playing on Monday night.
Yeah.
And they usually see rookies start to evolve in the second half.
Yep. We have a question on that coming up.
You're seeing an expansion of duties from your top 4. You can't ask for much more. You know what I mean? Like, because it's when you talk about building a roster, this is what you're hoping for. Yeah. This combination that the Lions have right now, head coach GM, is just something drool worthy. Yeah.
Okay. I need to get to this because we have a lot. Not every stream is going to be this crazy because we have to also cover all of the incoming donations off stream, and a lot came in before we went live. So let me thank all those people first, then we're going to get to all the alerts, and then we'll answer more of your questions. So let me start. Bailey PB with the $25 donation wanted me to write balls on my face, so there you go. You're so welcome. Frank Murphy with the $20 donation says thanks for using this platform to do something positive. Mike Keegler, $25 gifted, says go Lions. $80 from Austin Mammoth. Thank you so much, Austin. Cattle Snacks, $80 as well, says thanks for all the great content over the years, and this is a great cause. Daniel Lorenzen, $60 donated to the Alzheimer's Association. Negative Ghost, Negative Ghost Rider, which is what's written on my head as well. With the $25 donated to the Let's Go Lions. T. Butler, $20 donated to Alzheimer's Association. Said thanks for all the coverage and great work you guys do forward down the field. Kyle Weinmeyer, $20 donated. Brad Pennybacker, $60 donated. Lost Oceans, $50 donated. Says thanks for the great coverage and for doing greater things every November. Ian Detroit, $25. Spencer, $20. Drew Smith, $5. Says appreciate all y'all do. Lucas S, $20. Says thanks for all you do. Longtime lurker and happy to contribute to a good cause. Nick Ola, $20. Ash from Roar the Lions UK, $20. Says just a small gesture for what you mean to the UK Lions community and to help the Alzheimer's Association. Help the amazing charities. Chris Welter, $20. Says you are the best for doing this. Good luck. Andrew from Australia, $20. EP Church, $100. Okay, and that catches us up just off stream. Let me scroll down.
Well, it's more than doubled. So
yes. All right. So catching up here, Tyler S, $100.
Wow.
Says maybe Erik does an egg.
What do I have to do for an egg? Smash it on my head.
Smash it on your head, I believe, is what the $100. Make sure if you can to select the reward when you do it. But I will. Let me make a note of that. I'm trying to make a long list of things that we have to do. So smash. You don't necessarily have to, Erik, but if you want to.
I don't know if I have any because when we make eggs in bulk. So I'd have to check.
Caleb Whitwer, I'm sorry, $25 donated. What do you want? Talking Schlitt written on somebody's face. Let me write that down. I'll get to that in a second. I do want to try to get through all of these as much as possible. J-Dubs, $25. Wants 6 and 2 baby on the machine, please.
What's that? 6 and 2?
Yeah. 6 and 2
Oh, on
baby.
me? Oh, God.
Again,
I'd have to have Laura. If Laura is in the chat, maybe I'll have. She would love that. Oh, look, here she is. Yeah, hold on. No, hold on. They want you to write some things on me.
Oh.
So just leave that.
So you don't want me to show them our 2 dozen eggs?
Well, I didn't know we had them. All right, well, we're not doing it right now. You can do some writing apparently.
Okay.
6 and 2 baby.
So 6 and 2 baby.
Okay.
But it has to be so that they can read it. So you have to write it backwards.
Take off your old man hat.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I think maybe if you can just maybe write it there, like we'll post Malone it. Can you?
Look at you making a semi-modern reference.
There's not very much room.
Wait a minute.
Here.
Well, I don't have like a lot of room up top.
Yeah, 5 hat if you take that hat off. All right.
You have to write it backwards.
I'm gonna try my best.
Oh God, never mind. I'll just go to the mirror. Keep going.
While you guys figure that out,
I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. Thomas Childers, thank you for the $20 donated. Appreciate you. Woodchuck Hunter, who also redeemed the Macho Man, also donated $124 to the Movember campaign, which I think may have been the one that got us over 1,000. Vels, thank you for the $20 donation. Redeemed a mini cowboy hat, so let me put another one of those on. There we go. For Lions Forest, $50. It says, let's go. Thank you for Lions Forest. Ryan, thank you for the $20 donation as well. Joshua Mercer, $250. And I think is that caught up? Let me refresh this page real quick. Let me see if it's actually caught up. No, I'm definitely not caught up. $10 from Caitlin. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Also wanted a mini cowboy hat, so we're gonna throw another one of those on. And we're gonna start doing these ones because this is hair. There we go. IT Hips, $25 says this is for one of my favorite '80s icons in Michael J. Fox, and I also started watching the Lions in 1988, so this is ironic. Thank you for the $25. Appreciate you. Dreskel, $100 donated. Also wanted a mini cowboy hat, so let's add another one. Hopefully, I got about 6 left, so we'll see if we get there. That was Dreskel, and then Katie from Michigan, $50 donated to the channel, and wants a muting of the Chris, and I am keeping track of the mutes that you're allowed to use. So, Katie, you have a mute for Chris that I am noting. And are we caught up? Did I miss anybody before we get to the subscribers and all that fun? How do we do?
She's not. She's trying to use my whole face,
and it is in fact the wrong direction. But okay.
Are you kidding me? we wrote it backwards. I thought we were supposed to write it backwards. Is that not right?
Nope. Can you?
Oh man.
Can I switch your? It's fine. I don't
think
it
I is. Maybe I should have had her just write it regular then, I guess.
Yeah, you should have. Now that I think about it, since I can see the words on your hoodie written in the right direction.
Well, that was a lot of work.
Oh, well. Now it's Ibab.
Maybe
5
I'll just
and
wash it
backward
off.
6.
Can I wash it off and go again?
If you want. It's definitely backwards.
Okay,
also, there were a couple. Obviously,
keep talking. Then keep talking.
Okay, there was obviously a redemption of changing my background. I want to figure out which people did that and shout them out. Was it EP? Shoot, hold on. This is a little bit of a mess, everybody, and I'm upset about the donation alerts because I actually changed alerts. We have new alerts, and then I tested it out 5 hours before stream, and they weren't working. So, all right. So change virtual background. Oh my gosh, Jeremy, are you coming as media or Fandel? I'm gonna be media, but I'm gonna try to hang out tailgating for a little bit beforehand. All right. So we had Austin Mammoth redeem a virtual background. Where? Oh, I have to scroll back. What in the world is happening? So Austin Mammoth wanted this one. We're gonna just do them for one segment apiece. CC Russell, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. Cattle Snacks, I should say. Also redeemed one. And I think we'll switch to theirs in the second segment here. Are you here, Cattle Snacks? Maybe I should save it if you're not here. If Cattle Snacks isn't here, I don't want to do it because I want to make sure I'm prepared to do what he asked as well. They asked, I don't know if it's usually. And then there was one other person that I think did too. Oh, there you go. Hey, looks right.
I'm not going to let her do it because it's getting bigger and bigger. She's adding exclamation points. Like,
oh yeah, I need to do talking schlit.
Talking schlit. Yep. I'm in the garage because the children are inside, and I tend to go in the garage so my family doesn't interject in the podcast, and so that's working real well. No, I'm definitely not painting my garage door green.
Oh boy,
Mr. Pask. I am just joking. No, I go here because it's a little quieter.
That's about as good as I can do.
Podcast studio.
Okay, Cattle Snacks is here. All right, so we're gonna switch up the virtual background now. Gone is the NFC North, but I think you guys are going to be pretty happy with this one too. And this is I took your request a step further. He wanted Graham Glasgow as my background. I took it a step further and decided we're getting emo Graham Glasgow. I hope that's okay, Cattle Snacks. All right, and I think in general I'm going to keep refreshing. $25 from Nick the Greek. Says Josh Reynolds owes the Alzheimer's charity $125 for not breaking 34.5 receiving yards. I think I know what he's referring to.
I do too.
And he also redeemed for his $25 donation a right on a podcaster's face. And he wants Jeff Dunham fanatic on someone's face, which is very insulting.
Fanatic. Oh, yeah. You don't like Jeff Dunham, do you?
No. He's a horrible comedian. Oh, my God. That's so long. I need it.
I do think you should put a character limit. I like this. The 6 and 2. That's very appropriate. Appreciate that.
Can I just write fan? How about that? You know what? I'll even throw a number 1.
Is this because you can't spell fanatic?
Yeah, it's a very hard word to spell. There you go. Jeff Dunham, number 1 fan. There you go. Well, it's a lot of characters, right? There's not a lot of real space on my face right now, especially with this ridiculous hair on. Okay. I wish there was a way that I could see these. Oh, there's also going to be a spinning of the Wheel of Pain at some point very soon. Let me get to the regular alerts. Tefcam, thank you for the $40 donated. It says, when is Wheel of Pain? It's coming. We'll do it this segment. I'm not going to make you guys wait on that. Also wants the word kicker written on somebody's face, and I'm guessing that's me because I hate special teams.
I said this to you before, but there's not much more this fan base enjoys than causing you pain.
Listen, if that gets them to donate more money to charity, I'll be it.
I feel like she almost wrote on my eyeball.
Oh, that was not a good. Oh my God, I'm sorry. This is. I'm sorry. That does not look like kicker at all. But I'm.
That looks like Minky. There you go. It's a good adjustment.
That was close. Closer. All right, are we caught up now? I think. Oh, another 25 from Nick the Greek says, a very, very small part of me misses the last days of Matt Patricia. There's nowhere for my negative feelings to go now. And what do you... Oh, you wrote this. It's the same Jeff Dunham fanatic. I'm not going to write that a second time if that's what you're trying to do. But thank you, Nick the Greek, for the $25. What are we up to now? Is that 1,600 and something? 35? Dang. All right, now to get to the regular alerts. Thanks for hanging in here, everybody. I'm hoping this is enjoyable, just sitting here watching us not talk about Lions football. But Erwin, thank you for the 29 months. Says, yes, first time Movember isn't a distraction from shitty football. Let's go. Wait a second. The one thing I forgot to mention about Movember is that I'm going to do a little bit of a swear jar. And Erwin just made me say the S word. So every time I swear during Movember on stream, $10 is what I'll donate. And I forgot.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
Swear tally there. 1. Erwin, you crafty MFer. Ghoul Boy Q, thank you for the 16 months subscribe to the channel. RGA 10-bit says we need an Erik machine emote. Le Mans Builder 12 months subscribe to the channel says 1 year with you nuts, 6 months cancer free. Old guys, please get a PSA test. Go Lions. Hey, Le Mans Builder, hopefully you're still here, man. That's great news. And yeah, everyone wait, what's I don't think I know what a PSA test is. I should probably know that. Spreading awareness during Movember. What's a PSA test, chat? You guys are probably smarter than me.
It's a prostate, right?
That would make sense. Big DMG.
I'm not right.
Thank you for the 10. Yeah. It's not, or it is?
It is.
Okay.
It's a prostate specific antigen test.
There you go.
I thought it was prostate.
Big DMG, thank you for the 10-month subscribe to the channel. Joshua Mercer, 41-month subscribe to the channel, says, Jesus feels like yesterday. I stumbled across POD reading articles about the draft that year, LOL. 42 months is a long time, my friend. Oh, yeah, chat's all over it. Tefcam, thank you for the 9 months, says another Lions victory. 100 bits from Nick the Greek says, Matt Patricia's sweet, tangy nacho cheese kisses on Josh McDaniels' pouting cheeks. Wow, that's poetry, Nick the Greek. JB, 8-month subscribe to the channel, says, let's go Lions. Captain James Kirk, 31-month subscribe to the channel, says 6-2 at the bye. I've never felt so good about this team. I can't disagree. 100 bits from Nick the Greek says, can't wait to see Ben Johnson's three fullback, 2 tight end formations after the bye week. Absolutely not. 100 bits from Nick the Greek again says, can we get a Jeremy live streams a Jeff Dunham special on the Wheel of Pain? I'll pay $75 to see 15 minutes of that. I'll tell you what, I mean, listen, one of the if it's on Amazon Prime's catalog, it's on the table, right? You have to check Amazon Prime because what is it? Every $250 you donate, you can dictate an Amazon watch party. So if it's on there, that's your avenue to make me do it. Lionized, 4-month subscribe to the channel, says the Lions have the 2 best healthy quarterbacks left in the division. Ooh,
not wrong.
Is that true?
I mean, you could make an argument for no, it's not wrong.
Nick the Greek, another 10 bits, says, how much do I have to donate for you to permanently ban Kyle Barber and to stop speaking with him in real life? I don't know. Woodchuck Hunter, 100 bits, says, Macho Man Randy Reisman Savage. You're right, brother. 100 bits from Woodchuck the Hunter says, do the intro of the next segment in the voice. Fine, I will. Nick the Greek, 100 bits, says, can't believe Jack Campbell failed to blow out Jimmy G's knee. Good try, Rook. He wasn't trying. Did he get tripped? He got tripped, right?
It was really weird how he fell. Yeah.
Veltron, 18-month subscribe to the channel. Not that obvious. 5-month subscribe to the channel. Nick Skaz, 8-month subscribe. First Twitch baby, almost here. And my son just asked why Erik is in a garage. Flair, 149, 35 months at tier 2. Says, be right back. Still crying from that Dan Campbell interview that aired during Monday Night Football. #R Ted Lasso. Yeah, I've been meaning to put that up on the website all week, and I haven't done. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Austin Mammoth.
It was
Go ahead.
It was only like 3 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure I didn't see it, just a portion of it.
No. Austin Mammoth, 14 months in a row, says, Jeremy, what's your favorite swear word? I don't have to answer that question. I could spell it out. Woodchuck Hunter 100 bit says, I'm going to redeem Ben-Hur for the Amazon watch party so we can spend all 3.5 glorious hours watching the greatest movie of all time together. Sure. Why not? I've never seen it. So there you go. Okay. Caught up on alerts, caught up on donations. I believe we're still at 1635. So, I think it's Wheel of Pain time. Now, I have to double check the Wheel of Pain and what it's currently set up as because I don't think I have everything in my possession that I could potentially do. Let me pull up the spinny wheel and what's on it real quick. What do we see? Oops. All right. No, stop moving other stuff. I want the spin wheel. So that, oh my God. Lock that.
Are the do you see the alerts coming up now?
What alerts?
When you put the wheel up, it looked like it showed some donations in the corner.
Spin wheel's locked, that's why. Oh no, those have been there.
Those were okay.
Yeah. Those aren't the alerts though.
Overlooking them.
I want them to like actually pop up and make a noise so I hear them. All right. We got 10 up downs. I can do pickle juice. I can do whipped cream. I don't have. I can do dog food. I can't do Malort. I can't do wasabi yet. I can do bean boozled. All right. So let me edit the widget real quick. Spin wheel. All right. So what do I have on here that I can We're not doing... All right, wasabi spoon. Let me replace that with something else. Actually, let's just get rid of it. So pickle juice, 10 up downs. I can't do whipped cream yet. Dog food, eat a bug, or bean boozled. It'll be those 5. Should update now. Simmons, thank you for gifting a sub to Regattison. All right, those are the 5. We'll eat a bug, do bean boozled, pickle juice, 10 up downs, eat some dog food, or eat a bug. Fair? Good? Great. You also... No, I don't owe you a respin. All right. Where's the spin button? Oh, wait, the top here, I think. All right, here we go. I'll move it to the side so you can see my reaction. All right, spinning it in 3, 2, 1. It didn't spin. There he goes.
Nice.
Oh. Wearing all this hot clothes, you're gonna make me do 10 up downs? Oh, Jesus. All right. How... I'm gonna have to make myself... Can I make myself like the speaker? No, that's you. How do I... That's not what I want either. Immersive? What is immersive? I don't want that either. Hide self-view. Nope, don't want that. That obviously doesn't show self-view. Whatever. All right, so I'm going to have to turn off the background. Let's turn off the filter for a second. I don't even have enough room to do them here. Like, well, by the way, this comes with pretty sweet pants, too. I don't know if you guys knew that. I should probably take the headphones off. All right, we're going to try and do this in this very thin area. As you can see, I can't even stretch my hands out completely. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Jesus. 5, 6, 7, 8. I saw it. 9. I did burpees instead of up downs, I realized halfway through there. This is off the rails.
I am the arm flare is really what got me.
Well,
because the arm flare just really.
I was landing on it too, so like at one point when I planted my feet for the push-up position, I landed on one of these and face planted. Jesus. Did I lose any hats? No, I think I'm good. All right. And that's your first spin on the Wheel of Pain. I'm going to need some time to compose myself before we get back into it.
Yeah, take a second.
Oh, boy.
Say hello.
Hello. Do you even recognize me? Oh, crap.
Oh, you see yourself all over the place, don't you?
Oh, there we go.
What's this say? What's this say? Look at Daddy. Hey, look at me. I know, you're a movie star, aren't you?
There we go.
We'll buy Jeremy some time here.
Commish mic'd up dropped. We could watch that in the second break, maybe. Hi, Gigi. Did I
Say hi,
swear?
Jeremy.
What did I say? What, Gigi?
He said hi.
Hi.
Say hi again. Tell him hi again.
Hi.
Oh, don't mess with the game.
Crap doesn't count.
What?
Yeah? What's on Jeremy's face?
Everything.
What's on his head? What's on Jeremy's head?
Well, he looks like he's gonna give her nightmares, aren't you?
Is that regular Jeremy or silly Jeremy? These lights are too bright.
She looks tired.
Your ring lights here are a little too bright for our child. All right, come here, Gigi. Say bye-bye, everybody. Night-night.
No kisses.
Bye, night.
Bye. That was
Thank you.
adorable.
Come here, baby. We're loaded.
No one has done an egg yet. That feels like an end of stream thing, because
Yeah,
no one wants to crack an egg
how
and
do
then
you
just
concentrate.
sit in an egg filth for another hour. Okay. Why am I wearing the pants? RGA with the 10 bits? Because I'm thorough. Because you dished out 200K for this. Channel points. Holy crap. All right, let me grab some water. Then I think I'll be ready to go. Okay. Should we get back into it?
Do you want to take another second? You look a little disheveled.
I mean, I am,
Maybe
but
it's the cowboy hat on your cheek that's doing it for me. But
I mean, the lists of swear words are the typical swears. Are you just trying to get me to say them? Because I'm not going to do that.
that is the new game
A,
that
B,
you just introduced.
A, B, F. I would say C is probably in there. S is in there. Which ones am I forgetting? I think
D.
that's most of them. What?
D.
D. Yeah, we'll count D.
There's a couple D's that would be bad.
It could. Yeah, I mean the George Carlin words for sure.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, a couple of those words I never say, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, there's one of those letters I'm not even going to say the letter of. You don't need to worry about. No, I don't need no. Do curses in other languages count? I think you're starting to worry about things I'm not going to say.
Do.
This is so ridiculously off. Are people enjoying this? Okay, I think we should get into it. Where were
All
we?
right. We ended with Nowoski.
Right,
That
I
was
see.
like it was Montgomery, and then added the Nowoski stuff.
You know what? I would say
Yes.
comeback. That is a swear word. I won't be saying that word. And if you do catch me saying it, $10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At some point, I'm going to put a little like swear counter on this screen so that you can see it. 100 bits from Woodchuck Hunter. I'm not going to read that because I'm not an idiot. But thank you for the 100 bits, Woodchuck Hunter. Nice try. Very sneaky. All right, let's get back into it. Welcome back to the Midweek Mailbag. Macho Man Jeremy Reisman here in the middle of our Movember campaign where you get me to do very silly, stupid stuff like that. We just answered a whole bunch of your questions. We're going to answer a bunch more. Get right into it. Jordan on Twitter, Jordan17283 asks, out of the many players who've been out the past few games, who are you most excited to get back after the bye? Who's the most impactful starter we've been missing? So a couple candidates there: Jonah Jackson, David Montgomery. If you think James Houston is going to be back anytime soon, I wouldn't necessarily call him a starter, but he's a guy that could certainly make an impact. CJ Gardner-Johnson maybe comes back at some point. Anyone I'm missing?
Jason Kabinda, Matt Nelson.
I mean,
they're not starters.
Frank has missed one game. You could, I guess you could count him, but I guess who are you looking forward to most seeing on the field that we haven't seen in a little bit?
I think my favorite player to watch is Jonah, but I think the most impactful player is going to be Montgomery.
Yeah.
Because of what we talked about in that first segment, the way that they use him just opens the offense up in a lot of different ways. It makes him more impactful in the red zone. It helps them execute in short down situations. It just gives them a plethora of options on how to get business done on offense. And so Montgomery, I think, is the answer for me there.
Yeah, he's probably my answer too. It would be nice to get some stability on the offensive line again, because we know the potential of this offensive line. And listen, they're still playing pretty darn well overall. It just hasn't been their typical, I guess, dominating self. So to get it, even though it's maybe not the quote unquote starting lineup we all wanted at the beginning of the year, if we have Jonah in there at left guard, Frank at center, and Graham at right guard, that's essentially a starting lineup. And a damn
that's their
fine
best.
one.
That's their best. It really is. I think that's their best option. Don't you think?
I do, and I just said the D word, which means I have to add another 10 to my swear jar here. But I mean, there is part of me too that's very intrigued, especially given all the shakeups that they have had at the will spot, at the edge spot, to get someone like James Houston back. And granted, it's not going to be for at least another month, but man, I need someone over there on the other side that's going to draw some attention, because, man, these past few weeks, it really feels like Aiden Hutchinson is just getting beat up by chips and double teams and triple teams. There needs to be someone to draw attention from him. And outside of maybe a Lee McNeil, I just don't know if there's anyone on that defensive front that's doing it right now.
Well, you're hoping for Josh Paschal
True.
and Kaminsky to be able to hold it down. And if Josh and Kaminsky can get it done, at least a rotation of those two guys can hopefully make some noise. Because right now, I think Harris has taken a step back in the coach's eyes.
Yeah.
They've been playing Julian over him. Julian really hasn't been doing a whole lot. You haven't seen Romeo even as often as you've seen Julian. They've tried Jack Campbell at the Sam. I think right now, your hope is you're getting a step up from the Campbell Paschal. Long term, you're hoping Houston heals up sometime in late December or maybe early January. So, but they're past the point where they're going to be able to add somebody who's going to be impactful. And so that's where you're putting your eggs at this point.
Yep. All right. Next question comes from Kirsten on Twitter. Asked, how special was the atmosphere in Ford Field on Monday night? I was there and I've never seen it so electric.
I think it's been good for all the home games so far. I thought it was very creative how the Lions team, Ford Field team, how they were able to incorporate things to engage the audience into some of the intermission stuff, like with the lights. I thought it was smart to put Lomas's big day on Monday night, debut the helmets. Like they did a lot of things. They had the bobbleheads even. They threw a lot of stuff at fans to get the fans hyped up. They definitely responded. You had people pulling players into stands into the stands after touchdowns, and so it was a lot of fun. Really clever, creative ways to keep the fans engaged, and you can see it's they had a plan. Like they start out if you haven't been to Ford Field, what they do is they try and do fun stuff when the Lions offense is about to come onto the field. So they keep you light and happy, but not overly hyped. And then when the defense is getting ready to come on the field, then they're like, let's play music to get everyone hyped up and run, yelling, and everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it's by the time they come back, everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs.
Right.
And it's very clever, very smart.
They're putting the decibel levels on the on the screen, so people are trying to raise that up,
and the players are hyping them up, and it's just going to keep going up too.
Right.
I think as they get, they're going to have 3 more division matchups.
Yep.
In the back half, all at home.
Thanksgiving is one of those.
Thanksgiving, you're going to potential playoff game, and it's just it's just gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, and I will say too, some of the pregame stuff they're doing too, like they had a big kind of get together in the park right nearby across the street of the field, and that was getting people hyped up. And to me, you could really sense it just walking into the stadium how hyped everybody was. I will say, I don't think that was the loudest it's been, and maybe that just kind of had to do with some sloppy play on the field. Like it wasn't an outstanding game by any means. Seattle game. First home game of the season to me was the loudest. It was insane, and I think part of that is you're coming off of Kansas City. Everyone has super high expectations for the team. Granted, everyone has high expectations for the team now too, but you're coming off Baltimore. Maybe some of the initial hype has just died down because we're now getting used to the fact that the Lions are competitors and legitimate. Whereas I think after that Kansas City game, it was all new and exciting and fun. Now we're settling in to be like, okay, we're awesome. Like that's the expectation now. Let's and I don't people want to lose that kind of like honeymoon feeling of wow, we're this new fun exciting team, but I think there needs to be something else to spark I think that next level of excitement, whether it is a divisional opponent or a last minute finish or a just absolute decimating of a team 48-3 or something like that. But I do think there's a little bit of a lull right now. And I shouldn't even really say that either because the Lions attendance numbers were put out today and they're the best since 2011 in that game in Monday night. The last time they were this good was ironically Monday night, the Javid Best game against Chicago when they were 5-0. So, it's still very exciting and very hyped. I guess considering it was a Monday night game, I thought maybe there was going to be another level of intensity we hadn't seen yet. And I don't think we hit it yet.
No, but I think we're getting used to it as well. I
Maybe.
think we were kind of caught off guard in that Seattle game. Like, me and you are almost shoulder to shoulder, and I was trying to talk to you, and you couldn't hear me. And we're 7 stories up, know? And but like, they could go to another level. They were super loud. I mean, like, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you're. I don't want people to think you're underselling how loud they were. They really were really loud. Like I think they were up to like 118 or something like that, like on decibel. So like it was up there, but like they had a nice, consistently loud level that was really fun, and then the flags like interrupted the flow.
Oh, you're gonna blame this on Cleat too, huh?
And then Cleat Blakeman, but the loudest that they got was when Cleat Blakeman kept messing up calls.
You're right. Yep. You're 100% right.
Oh, they went to a whole new level for Cleat because his dumb play flag throwing, no nonsense baloney. All right. Yeah. It's nice. They can go a little higher. Even.
Yeah.
And I think
that's that's what I'm trying to convey. It's like I think there's another level that we haven't quite hit yet. And we will.
It was still louder than probably anything we heard last year, though.
Yeah, I would think
be
that's
honest.
True. All right, next question here from Kaniak Zach asks, we've seen rookies take off in the second half of the season in recent years. Amon-Ra St. Brown and James Houston, for example. Who do you think makes a similar impact this season?
Oh, boy. That's a hard question because James kind of came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And so you're talking
Trevor Nowaski.
Who's I mean, who's a guy?
I know this.
Dan just asked something similar like this?
Maybe.
I
think,
okay,
but I think my answer is Jack Campbell, because I feel like Jack Campbell's been kind of quiet in his first half of the season, and that's part of it is they're trying to find a way to get him on the field. Part of it was Derek Barnes was balling out. Part of it was he was making some rookie mistakes, especially in that Baltimore game. I think he's going to settle in, and he's going to start making some plays. Like we haven't seen him make like a really phenomenal, stellar play. I feel like really since week 1 when he made that amazing pass breakup in zone coverage. And so I know the question was who kind of comes out of nowhere. Actually, that wasn't necessarily the question. It's who do you think makes a second half jump? I think it's Jack Campbell. I think he's going to settle in. I think you saw it last week that maybe they're like, all right, we're not going to mess around with this Will stuff. Just play Mike, settle into the Mike, get better at Mike, and start balling there. And we all know he has the skill set to do it. I think a lot of it is just between the ears stuff, and that stuff goes away when you get experience, and now he's starting to get a lot of experience. I expect him to jump up and play by Thanksgiving.
The come out of nowhere guy would be Roderick Martin.
Right.
Because we haven't expected much out of him. So,
True.
And he has that potential.
Yep.
So he could be the come out of nowhere guy. But I think the guy that, even though he's on our radar, that could all of a sudden just pop off, it's J-Mo, right? Like, I think if J-Mo all of a sudden decides he can start catching everything that comes in his radius, look out. Like, he's gonna take off. So I know we haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
But we have seen those like 40-yard bombs to him. So you start putting more of those on tape, and he can make a big impact in that way.
I feel like that's kind of cheating because he's not a rookie, but it's kind of like a rookie season for him.
Okay, so
that's fine. No, I'll accept your answer. It's a good answer in terms of a guy that could make a big second half of the season jump.
I was just thinking young players.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll allow it. I just wanted to call you out anyways.
I understand.
At Lyle_Watts on Twitter asks, not to bring down the hype with this team and coaching staff, but does Dan Campbell's decision making worry you? Can it still be improved? Is it still improving? For example, not calling timeouts before the half / late in games, challenge flags, etc. This is an interesting question because I do feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect between reality and perception, I guess. You know, we put out that article this week where is it Sumer Sports, I think, they put out their own metric, which is expected win percentage added based on coaching decisions. So that includes timeout usage, that includes going for it on fourth down, that includes all those sort of game management things that we group into Dan Campbell's in-game decisions. And Dan Campbell was number one by a fair margin in terms of win percentage added. It's something that he is almost in a different category from everyone else in the league. Now, I think a lot of people look at what happened at the end of the Seattle game in regulation. Lions burned a lot of clock. They seemed disinterested in scoring a touchdown, settle for the game-tying field goal. And then you see what happened this past week against the Raiders. It looked like they were heading down that same avenue at the end of the first quarter where they're burning a lot of clock. They're not calling timeouts. They have all three timeouts, but they're bleeding clock. Except they finished that drive like I think they wanted to in Seattle, which is they got in the end zone and they did exactly what they wanted to do. And so I think we're looking at those two situations as similar and judging them based on different outcomes. And I mean, it's tough because I get it. While it's happening, I'm stressing out just like you guys. I'm like, time out. Why are you bleeding all this clock? And it's sometimes I do
literally we're saying that.
Yeah.
Like, I can vouch for that.
But at the same time, it's tough because I do think there's a little bit too much emphasis from Dan Campbell on bleeding the clock, on making sure the opposing team doesn't have enough time to score themselves. But I can't argue with the results because they had plenty of time this past week, right? It looked like they were bleeding too much clock, and they scored with what, like 40 seconds left, 30 some seconds left.
I think it was in the 20s, maybe
the high 20s.
Yeah, it was less than a minute for sure.
Right. And so it worked, and all's to say I'm not worried because all of this is extreme nitpicking, especially when he's doing everything right in terms of fourth down calls, in terms of going for field goals, in terms of timeout usage, or I don't have any concern about challenging. I know he had one bad challenge this year, but I mean, to me, I think he's doing a phenomenal job in general, and I might have a disagreement here or there, but that's with every NFL coach, right?
I think the encouraging part of the play calling or game management is that what you've seen this each year is that if they make a mistake early in the season, they typically find a way to correct that.
Yeah.
And maybe we've seen that. We saw, okay, it didn't work in Seattle because of X, Y, and Z. Now we do it against the Raiders, and now it works because of X, Y. We correct those problem areas. And so the hope is that you don't run into a first-time problem, right? Because then, who knows? But if it's a situation where it's stumped them before, this is a coaching staff that typically learns from their mistakes. And so hopefully, you should be encouraged by that.
All right. Next question here from Kelly at KC Ryan. Sorry, I butchered that. Asks, does not making a move to address the depth at cornerback indicate CJ Gardner-Johnson returning, or do they really trust the guys in those positions?
I think it's a matter of trust and then opportunity, right? Like the Bears were trying to deal Jalen Johnson, right?
Yep.
And they were looking for like a late first, early second. Like
Right.
the price tag on cornerbacks was not ideal, I guess. From what we
and to
can
be clear,
gather.
if the Lions are the trade partner, they can only offer a late first. They
First.
can't offer an early second.
Right. And so I didn't see any of that happening. Like Brad Holmes, top 100 picks are so valuable to Brad Holmes because he turns those guys into starters.
Right.
And he's got 4 of those picks, 4 top 100 picks in this class.
Yep.
So
starters.
I don't think he wanted to part with
contracts.
any of them. Yes. So I think he was looking at that saying, I'm going to have to spend money on a lot of my in-house guys. I'm going to need those picks to be able to find guys that can contribute. And so I don't think he was interested in dealing those away. And if you're not interested in dealing a top 100 pick, what kind of corner are you going to get that's going to come in and be a starter? Like they traded a 6th round pick for Peoples-Jones, who was starting in Cleveland, but he's not going to start here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you traded for a corner, you're probably not going to get a starting level corner. Could it have helped with depth? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't think I think this was a matter of just them not finding the right trade partner. We talked about this last week on the mailbag. We talked about the fact that finding the small group of teams that's willing to trade and finding the right match of talent, player, culture fit, price tag, it's really hard to do. And I just don't think it was there.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what Dan Campbell said too, right? Like we have a very kind of, I mean, he didn't say strict, but like there are all these criteria that this has to meet. It has to be the right price. It has to be the right player. It has to be the right demeanor. It has to be the right position, all that sort of stuff. And, it's easy for us to look on the outside and be like, well, this guy has a great PFF grade. He plays outside corner. We need him. But it's a lot more complicated than that. Like scouting a player, you have to make sure they're going to be a good scheme fit. You have to make sure they're going to be a good locker room fit. I look at a team like Washington, they're sellers. I would have loved to have a guy like Kendall Fuller, but I'm guessing either he wasn't available, he wasn't the right price, or the Lions don't think he's a culture fit. And they have all that information. I don't have any of that information. And given how well this team is team built in the past 2.5 years, I have to have some blind trust here because they have information that I don't, and I have to trust that they make the right decision. Kendall Fuller for a 5th or 6th, that sounds great in my book. Maybe that's not what the offer was. Maybe that's not what he was. Right. Maybe it wasn't even on the table. And so, all's to say that I kind of want to reiterate what Erik said is like the opportunity might not just have been there, but I also do think there is a level of comfort in the corners they have. What happened after the game, Erik, when the game ball was given to Aaron Glenn? What did he do with it?
He gave it to the guy who had the lowest PFF score on the team.
He sure did. He gave it to Cameron Sutton and Jerry Jacobs, who allowed a total of 2 completions to their top 2 wideouts.
7 yards. Yeah.
And so I think there is a level of trust there. Now, I know everyone is screaming, and I'm screaming it too. Okay, what if one of those guys gets injured? I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We know they trust Will Harris. We know Will Harris is CB outside corner 3, and I know that's sending half of you into a fit of rage, and I'm not that far behind you, but it is what it is. You can only get the players that are available, and we don't know who was and wasn't available, so I'm not going to freak out about it. That's it.
Yep. I'm with you.
All right, last question. I didn't put it in our overlay, but Eric and I did talk about it a little bit, and I don't remember who asked it. But since this is our first mailbag since the trade for Donovan Peoples-Jones, some people are already like looking ahead and saying, all right, Donovan Peoples-Jones might not be a starter, but is he going to be here long term? The Lions, spend minor draft capital on him for 8, 9, 10 games, however long their season ends up going. What's the future of him? And so obviously this is blind guessing. We haven't seen this guy practice. We don't know how they're going to use him. We don't know if they're going to use him. But what's your feeling on the likelihood that Donovan Peoples-Jones isn't just a half-season rental?
Well, I think if you're giving up capital, you're hoping that this is someone that you can keep long term, right? So I think that's the hope. At the same time, if he doesn't play well, he won't get re-signed.
Right.
And that is probably going to be the first and foremost thing that determines if he sticks. But it's also going to be, who is coming back, right? Because you have Josh Reynolds is on an expiring deal, but you have Amon-Ra under contract, Jameson Williams under contract, Khalif Raymond under contract. And so and then Antonio Green, under contract. Antoine, Jesus, I don't know. Apologies. Sorry, Mr. Green. Green under contract. So at best, he fits in as like wide receiver 4. That's if Josh Reynolds doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, if Josh Reynolds doesn't come back, they're probably drafting a guy that they think can start. And so if they view him as wide receiver 5, they're going to want to pay him wide receiver 5 money. If he plays well, he may think he can get better than wide receiver 5 money. And so then he might not want to stay, even though he's wanted to play in Detroit. At the same time, maybe he takes a discount because he's from the area. He's wanted to play here. He grew up. I mean, like, there's all kinds of factors that go into it. Step 1, how does he play?
Yep.
Okay. Then after that, we can start checking off all these other boxes and seeing about fit and who stays and who goes. And he's got to play well. He's got to do what they were hoping to get out of Marvin. He's got to be able to stretch the field. He's got to be a good blocker. He's got to do a lot of the things like where he can give him like 20 snaps and maybe a couple of like design plays. Play well. They'll reward you if you play well.
Yeah. And playing well has multiple benefits for the Lions. Obviously, you get contributions this year. You might have a wide receiver that you didn't think was maybe necessarily going to be a starter for you going forward, being a starter going forward. It could be a Josh Reynolds type addition in the middle of the season where it's just like you thought maybe you claimed Josh Reynolds off of waivers that one year and you're like, all right, well, he'll help us get a little bit of semblance of an offense in the end of year 1 of this regime. Turns out he becomes a 3-year starter for you. Maybe that's what happens with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Or, like you said, maybe he plays well. The Lions only want to pay him as a wide receiver 4 or 5 and he goes somewhere else and maybe you play the comp pick game a little bit. Obviously, a lot has to go into the offseason, but he signed somewhere. Maybe you get that 6th round pick back in 2025. You never really know. And so, yeah, it's too early to tell, but I think it's reasonable to have a ceiling of, yes, he becomes a regular contributor on this team, maybe even a starter on this team in the future. Caught almost 900 yards last year. He's capable of being a productive member in the NFL.
He's young. He's young. He's a tremendous athlete. He's got a lot of upside.
Yep. And
sometimes guys just don't fit in one place and they do in another.
Right.
And yeah, I agree with you. If he plays well, who knows where his ceiling could be.
Yep. And he could just as likely not be on the team by February, right? Like it's just the way we don't know. We don't know how he's going to fit in here. The Lions obviously have a certain amount of confidence that he checked all those boxes that we were saying all those corners didn't check. He's checking all those boxes, so there is a certain level of faith that has me believe like there's a legitimate chance he's around next year and maybe in a significant role, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to end things there, but we're going to save for some overtime for our live audience, which is, again, a reminder, please come to our YouTube chats, our Twitch chats. It's a lot of fun in November. I promise you that. The audio version of this, you're missing I would say about 70% of the fun, if I'm being completely honest. But we do appreciate you all that listen at home as well. So until next time, for Eric, I'm Jeremy. It's chaos. Be kind.
Recording stopped.
Okay. I'm going to take some of this stuff off because I am sweating my ass off. I'll get to some alerts here as well. I don't know if we got more donations. I don't think we did, so we're good. We don't need to do a bunch of catch up there, but I'm at least going to take the wig off. Can I take that? Oh man, that helps a lot. I'll keep everything else. Oh, dang it! I swear. All right, that's $3. $30 a stream is not a good pace to be keeping right now. I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
I said dang it. I
tell you, it's
I used to work with kids, so I know how to control my language.
The problem you're going to have is if you can't keep the swears to a minimum with me, how are you going to do it when you get with the other sailors that you do podcasts with? You know what I mean?
Like... To be clear, their swearing does not get added to my total. I'm not willing.
But I mean, like I'm saying you're gonna fall into the habit. You're gonna get comfortable. You're gonna forget. Oh, that's this is. Oh man.
Where I'm gonna fall into trouble, Eric, is that as things continually get done to me, as I eat sour pickle balls and all this other crap, that's when I'm gonna swear.
Almost got it.
All right. No. All right, so I'm at 3 swears. We still have to do an egg smashing. And then I think we're caught up on everything. Where's everything I wrote down? Oh, in this thing. Yeah, we're caught up. No worries, Shredder. Yeah. So there's also a rating of 49-0 on Ryan's forehead coming. Oh, starting to sweat through my. Yeah, that was.
Well, that was the wig, though.
Yeah. Sorry, negative Ghost Rider. As Jill points out, we are only $365 away from another spin, which we could get to in this stream. We're not going to be live too much longer, but we are still here to answer some more questions because we appreciate our live audience. So if you do have more questions that we didn't get to, start throwing them in the chat. Let me make sure I'm caught up on Twitch alerts. 100 Bits from Woodchuck Hunter says, I'm looking forward to seeing Jack Fox on the field. What do you mean by that? Why do you want us to punt more? Or you just like watching him as a holder? What do you mean by that? Flint Town and Down, by the way, gifted a sub to Laura Schlitt.
Oh, nice.
Laura Schlitt can now enjoy the stream without any ads and can use all those fun emotes. Jack Fox is your favorite player? Why? I'm not going to read that either, Woodchuck Hunter. Do you think the Lions re-sign Jonah or draft a guard early?
Well,
you know, I'm gonna alter this question. Who do you think is more likely to get re-signed? Jonah Jackson or this man right here?
Graham, because he's going to cost a ton less. I think Graham is a guy. Honestly, I think you need to probably. It would be helpful to bring them both back, right?
Yeah.
But I think with Graham, you're going to get a much more affordable cost. You're going to get him. You can probably get him on a 2-year deal. But at the same time, you're not going to break the bank on Graham, and you need a guy like Graham on the roster. You know what I mean? Like, Evan Brown was fine, but Graham, there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
So I do think Graham is going to be one of the priorities. At the same time, Jonah is one of the better guards in the league when he's healthy, and he is a guy that is going to get better because he's just peaking. And right now, he's not even at his best, whereas Graham is playing at his best, but he might be at his peak. You know what I mean? So there are 2 different spots in their career, and so I think Graham's more likely. I would like to see Jonah get it done. Now, here's the deal. I've looked at their offensive line, and I'm gonna because I looked at it for last year's class, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it up just so I can like speak a little bit more intelligently on it.
By the way, I want to apologize for keeping everyone from this amazing Thursday night football game going on tonight that we're all super eager to watch.
I want to. This is what I did ahead of the draft last year. I'm gonna send this to you, and you can so that you can
put
see
it on the screen. You could also share your screen, but you don't have to.
Oh, well, hold on. Oh crap! I just deleted our Slack. Let me pull it back up. Well, I don't care. I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Let me get it back up. But this kind of shows you how the offensive line breaks down from a financial standpoint over the next several years, and how, if you want, you could pay Jonah and still be able to maintain the line that you want. Okay. And it really comes down to the fact that of how the contracts are spread out. Okay. My argument here was, if you used pick 18 on a draft pick, and I never actually got around to writing this article, but it's going to be something that you can apply to this upcoming draft as well. I projected, like, so Sewell's contract is coming up in 2024, but then like he's going to get a 5th-year option in 2025, and that's when you see this like huge $18 million bump. But at the same time, that's right when Decker's contract falls off as well. So like they're never going to be at a spot where they're going to be like overwhelmed with these huge contracts on multiple guys where they can't like make some adjustments. You can re-sign Jonah and get him into this like mix of distribution. And if you backload it like you do most free agent contracts, you can actually keep the percentage low. See, because if you look at the percentage of the cap at the bottom, right now this year, their offensive line costs just under 25% of the cap.
Which is like top in the league probably, or at least top 3.
One of. Yeah, it might be the most. But because Vitae, Jackson, Graham fall off, they're making less than 20. So you have 5% of your cap that you can use to re-sign Jonah.
Yep.
And if you extend it out, like, so like you have the money to afford Jonah if you're continuing to put this investment of money onto the offensive line, and you should even draft a guy, and you already have drafted a guy in Colby, who isn't even included in this chart because this was a pre-draft idea that I had. Basically what you see is every year about 5% of the cap drops off, and then with how the projecting like how the cap increases and whatnot as well. So if you can re-sign Jonah, put him into the fold, and then you can keep the offensive line intact because everything is spaced out so well. And so, can they re-sign Jonah? They absolutely can. Will they? I think they will absolutely try. The issue is Graham has been so good.
Yep.
That and it seems like almost every year you can draft a guard that can come in and play, but they can't always play at an elite level, which you're getting out of Jonah, and that's something that you need. But like, if I'm Brad Holmes, I'm trying to re-sign Jonah. I think your whole team identity is built around the offensive line, and I don't think you want to lose that.
I do think it's kind of an interesting development here, given how much time he's missed. If it's in any way driven his price down a little bit,
I think it does.
Yeah,
I think it does, because that's the free agent market's going to take that into consideration.
Right. Just something to kind of think about. I mean, you never want to like be happy about an injury or anything, but it is maybe a silver lining to a tough situation with him right now. What else has there been?
When you get to the point where you need, well, here's another question. Like will they re-sign Decker? By the time Decker's up, he's going to be in his 30s.
Right.
And so now you're talking about not costing what he costs now.
Right.
It's going to be a significantly lower number. Like right now he's making, what was that, like 18 million or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So 19.3. So like he's not going to, that's not going to be in his range. Like it's going to be like half that. And so if you do re-sign him, you should be able to get him at a cheaper price. If you don't re-sign him, Panay has shown he can flip over to left, and you can always just try and draft another guy if Decker's like not in a spot where he wants to come back. At the same time, he's played 100+ starts for this organization, and they like what he does.
Right. And
he's playing at a high level. So we'll see how things change over the next 2 years, but there's a path to keep this offensive line intact.
All right. Someone asked what's up for raffling, and I realize I haven't really gone through all of what Movember has to offer. So let me kind of do that real quick. There's obviously a post on Pride of Detroit with all this sort of information. All you have to do is hit ! Movember in the YouTube or the Twitch chat, and a link should pop up. But here's how it works in case you don't know or you're a first timer. Every $20 you donate is a raffle ticket. You don't actually get a physical raffle ticket, but I keep track of all of everyone's raffle tickets. And there's no limit on that. If you donate $100,000, I will divide that by 20 and give you all of those raffle tickets, however much that is. Here's what you can win. The Lions are offering us 2 tickets to the regular season finale, Lions vs. Vikings. I don't have information on where those tickets are yet, but we have them. 5 6-month subscriptions on Twitch. I will pay for those out of my own personal pocket. If you have a Twitch, a Twitch account, we're giving away 5 of those for half a year, which means you don't have to pay for your subscription. It means no ads. It means all that sort of stuff. This is actually, it's kind of courtesy of me, kind of courtesy of the Alzheimer's Association. Basically, they gave this to me as a gift for how much we raised last year. A really nice Bluetooth speaker, retail $90. I have it in my possession. I haven't opened it because I'm just going to give it to you guys right out of the box, but that's available. I'm going to give away 10 stickers. Go ahead.
I have that.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I have 2.
Nice. I snatched an Aiden Hutchinson bobblehead from Monday Night Football. We're going to give that away. 3 subscriptions to Pride of Detroit Direct. If you're not already a subscriber to our premium newsletter where we have additional content, including after every game, Eric and I do a private video for subscribers that only subscribers have access to. But I should also say, if you don't want to leave it up to chance, everyone who donates at least $100 automatically gets subscribed all the way through the 2024 preseason. We will send you a coupon code for Pride of Detroit Direct if you $100. It normally costs $50. This way, just think of it as paying for $50 and paying $50 to charity, except all of it's obviously going to charity. So, and that's new this year. Like there's a couple rewards you automatically get. That's one. The other is me and the guy from Questionable Tees, our good friend Scotty Questions, are working on a custom Movember 2023 t-shirt that if you give $250, we will send that to you. It's not a raffle. You just get that item. So those are cool things. Other things that we're raffling off, Alzheimer's Association is going to send me a swag bag full of a bunch of their stuff that I'll be giving away. Ryan is giving away 3 Malik Willis rookie cards that he is signing because it's funny. Speaking of Questionable Tees, they do it big every single year. Like this is, I don't know if you guys understand, this is like almost $1,000 worth of merch that they're giving away. If you get the Ultimate Lions bundle, you get to pick 4 of your favorite designs from their entire website. If you get the Villain bundle, you know that Villain hoodie that you've seen Eric wear? You get that you get that as a jacket, a hoodie, a long sleeve, and a tee. They're giving away 2 Amon-Ra bundles, which are an Amon-Ra hoodie and a t-shirt. 2 Pride of Detroit bundles, which means the I'm a Real Journalism shirt plus a Pride of Detroit Lions hoodie that you may have seen one of us wear. And then they're giving away 3 One Pride bundles, which includes a couple other designs that you can see on their website by clicking on the links. Righteous Felon, our beef jerky, what do you call it? Sponsor. Thank you. They're giving away a variety pack that I also have in my possession now, so I can put that on. And so that's it in terms of raffle items. There's going to be more. Go ahead.
Explain how people, how you know how to keep track of what people donate.
So I get a full donation list. And so there's a whole Excel spreadsheet that I download at the end of the month. It has all of your emails. So if you donate multiple times, make sure you use the same email every time so that I know it's you, and I can just combine all of your tickets into one. But yeah, I'll combine all of those. I'll divvy up however many raffle tickets, and then basically what I do here is I go to this website, a random pick generator, and I put everyone's name in here. And I make sure that if you have, 20 raffle tickets, your name goes in this list 20 times, and then I spin it. I hit start, and it'll pull out a name. We've done that every year. It works. And then we'll do it live on stream so I'm not cheating. And we'll go from the best prize, because you can only win one prize. We'll go from the best prize, the most valuable prize, and just kind of go down the list. And so if someone with 1,000 entries, wins the first prize, we take all of their entries out, and suddenly everyone else's, odds are much better for the subsequent prizes. So that's how it works. I did so much this year to try to make sure all of this goes through and is clear for everybody. I even did a video on how to donate, which we'll watch it. Let's watch it right now. So tutorial. You get the donation link, ! Donate. It's right in there in the live chat on Twitch. I think I haven't actually checked is it working on YouTube? YouTube, are you still there? Does ! Donate work for you guys? Doesn't look like it does, but it does. I do see Nightbot eventually tweeting it out or sending it out every now and then. So just wait, I guess, for Nightbot to send it out in chat. You get to the screen, and then this is what you do. Tutorial on how to donate to our Movember charity stream. Once you click on a link either from prideofdetroit.com or one of our live streams, you'll be taken to this page. Fill out your email, and it's important that you use an actual email, because if you win a prize, this is the way I'm going to be able to contact you. Fill out your donation amount, put a display name and any comments you want to give us when you donate. Then make sure you hit next to maximize the value of your donation. And here's what I mean by that. This will allow you to use your donation for any rewards you are eligible for. If you want to look and see what else is available, make sure you click more rewards, and the rewards all the way through here. Pick the reward you want, say select this reward, and then you will also be able to use your donation towards a poll. If we get a charity stream of our karaoke, if we hit that goal, you can use your amount of donation to vote what song I will have to sing no matter what. You pick whichever one you want, you click that, and now you have several ways to pay, including credit card, PayPal, Google Pay. And that's it. Easy peasy. We'll get started with the auction stuff probably next week. I just need to make sure we have everything. But that's all for a different charity. That's all for the Humane Society of West Michigan. Once we get that ball rolling, I'll give you guys more information about that. But there's some really cool stuff, obviously. The Mina Kimes water painting of Panay Sewell's catch is going to be up for grabs. They're going to be signed footballs by big Lion stars, and then this awesome painting from Dan Pask, which is humongous and extremely impressive, is also going to be up for grabs. Cool. Anything else? Any more questions about the charity drive? Oops. Jeremy should have to sing the Kid Rock song. That sounds horrible. All right. It doesn't look like there's necessarily anything else at the moment being asked about the charity stream, which means I will answer a couple more, and then I want to get out of these closings and wash the crap on my face.
Someone asked about Cabinda.
Okay.
Cabinda is eligible to come off of IR now. but we have no idea if he will or not. If he does, it might be next week, or they might activate him and then go through the evaluation process. But he's currently eligible.
Right. Okay, there are a couple more questions about that. So what if you win a prize but want a lesser one? I would say maybe that's the way we do it. Well, the tricky thing is you have to be here in order to pick your prize. If you're there live and you say, I don't want that one, I want this one, I'll allow that. But in general, I think most people who win prizes aren't going to be available, so we'll just assign them prizes. And then if they don't want it or they can't have it, or, like if they win the Lions tickets and they can't go, we'll have to do a re-roll for it on another day. And I know it's not going to be fair because some people will have won a prize and not be eligible, but it's the way we have to do it. Who's doing the egg thing and why was that a reward choice? Probably because I'm an idiot and didn't think things through. But I can do it. That's fine.
Well, if Laura's listening, I'm sure she could send a child in to have the time of their life.
Shank asked if I'm sharing this on LinkedIn. I'm not. Is that a place to share? I will say that the Alzheimer's Association is doing their part to promote this in a much bigger way. They're putting us in our newsletter and things like that. So they think they can, we've got lofty goals this year. They think we can hit all of them, which would be something. A lot of people have pointed out that they think it's strange that
I hear a lot of rumbling inside. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm not. Hey, listen, stop. No, listen. You get an egg in a towel, and then we have to do it all planned. You're gonna get eggs all over the computer and stuff. We don't not. Jeez. She dropped an egg right in the garage. It's now underneath me.
But yeah, so what was I talking about? I don't remember.
I don't know. I was distracted. Wait. Stand 10 feet away from me, little lady. Hold on, I gotta take off my headphones and everything.
Yeah, let's not get it on the Pride of Detroit hoodie either.
Yeah.
It needs to be live streamed.
It will be. Just calm down. Don't hurt me. Okay, remember, you've seen eggs break before, so you don't need to like get your revenge on me. All right. Oh, this is gonna get everywhere, isn't it?
Revenge.
These are my favorite pants I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, but you probably have like a million pairs of it.
What'd you say?
I said you probably have a million pairs of them.
Why are you wearing stuff on your face?
I only have like 3. Laura, your mother wrote on me. All right.
Why?
Because she enjoys torturing me like you do. All right.
Mommy told me to do this,
Oh, I'm well aware. All right. No.
But it didn't work. I'm going to get you another one.
Harper, you have to actually smash it. What are we doing here? Oh,
that was the best.
I'm gonna take my Harper. Wait, okay, listen. I didn't realize we'd have to practice this so much. Come here, I'm gonna show you.
Third time's
Don't stop. You want to go like this, okay?
third time's the charm.
Just slap him on the head.
Okay, hold on. Let me take my glasses.
But
off. All right, go ahead. All right.
It didn't.
Yes, it did. How many? It's all down the back of my neck.
Yeah, but the egg didn't get on it.
I don't know, Chet. Does that count?
On my shoulder. Oh my god. It's all down my back and like my neck and stuff. You keep dropping it. Why is this still happening?
Because it hasn't worked yet.
Why is this still happening? Okay. Fine. We're going to do it one more time. Do it right, or I'm going to do the next one on you. Go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
I have some in my hand. We'll leave that on there for you.
You seem less happy about that one.
I mean, she might as well have just punched me in the head at this point. Hold on, I have to take the speaker off because I can't hear you, and I'm gonna put my headphones back on.
Again? A second one? A fourth one? Thanks for being a good sport, Eric. Oh, yeah, I just realized the charity overlay isn't on this one. There we go. I can't hear you now. You're muted. There you go.
4 eggs.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
There's an omelet on your floor.
It's on my pants.
You didn't have to do it. I was gonna do it.
Well, it's fine. Do you see how
It doesn't sound fine. You sound a little upset.
No, I'm upset that it took 4 times.
Eggs are expensive these days, you know.
They are. Am I allowed to wipe this off? And
Yeah,
stuff,
of
or
course you are.
I have to sit in this for a while.
No. It's good conditioner, I hear.
Well, okay. It's good for dog skin coats. I know that.
There you go.
All right, look, it's
Yeah, you got it nice on the shoulder
way
there.
down the back. Oh, it's not a little bit in my pants. It's a lot in my pants.
I eat 6 raw eggs in the morning? Is that what? Is that
Are
real?
are you in training for a decathlon?
Are you Rocky Balboa?
Yeah. The 80s?
Okay. I think it's probably time to get out of here. It's been 2 hours. It's been a fun stream. Hopefully we got something that resembled Lions coverage for you. It feels like we didn't talk much Lions at all.
Oh, we did.
At some points, I think we did. But I appreciate everyone who donated. I appreciate people, even you being here. Oh, we already spun the wheel of pain. I did my 10 up downs. Nice try, Joshua. Even you guys being here on YouTube and Twitch, that increases our visibility, which means more eyes, which means more potential donors. So even if you can't donate, spreading the word by being here is helpful. Or if you want to spread the word, that is helpful as well. If you know, maybe you're not financially independent yet, you're a young person, tell your parents that this is something that means a lot to you, or spread the word to some friends of yours that and tell them that it's important to you. So either way, very much appreciate all of you guys, and I know we're just getting started. We will have a Madden Sim stream Saturday morning. If you saw, I teased it on Twitter. We are going to do a lot of what ifs the Lions had made this trade at the trade deadline. We're going to try to dig these 1-7 Madden Lions out of the hole with a bunch of different good players. That should be fun. Don't steal credit cards. No, I'm not encouraging that. And we'll continue all this too. So if you want to make me do some dumb stuff Saturday morning, join us then. Any last words, Eric, before we get out of here?
No, I think hopefully this was a good start.
I think it was.
I think the people responded really nice.
Yes.
And that's nice to see. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So.
And fingers crossed we'll have the alerts coming next week. I have a ticket with Streamlabs. I've gone on their Discord and talked to some people over there, and so they're working on it. And we'll hopefully have that. But I think we will just send you guys over to watch some football. How about that? We'll go raid Prime Vision. Hopefully that's working. Nope, that didn't work. Excellent pod. Very funny. What about Prime Video? There we go. All right. We'll rate Prime Video so that you guys can go ahead and watch that horrible, horrible football game between the Steelers and the Titans. Is that right?
Yes.
Go enjoy that. We'll be back Saturday morning for the Madden Sim. And then probably Monday or Sunday night for a main POD cast. It'll probably serve as some sort of half-season recap type of thing. And then we'll be right back into the regular season again with Chargers pregame and coverage and all sorts of fun stuff like that. But until then, thank you all for the support. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you Saturday morning. Bye. And now's the awkward 5 seconds where we're still with YouTube. And now